guys, good morning. I'm Sandy.
And I'm Jed.
And we are Wanderful Revolution. Today we are going to be doing another video for you in our van build series. We are going to be putting in a headliner shelf in our cab.
So there's basically three options that you can take when installing a headliner shelf in your van. First is probably the most expensive. It's the pre-made kit. Everything's done. It ships with the shelf, the hardware, the brackets, and everything you need. The downside is it's around $400 to $500.
The other option is a total DIY. Go in, make all your measurements, do everything yourself. You can probably do that pretty inexpensively for about $50, $75 probably at most. Although making the brackets can be a little bit difficult. You're gonna to find brackets to fit. You're gonna have to bend the metal and everything to make it work. So we actually went with the third option as we see it. We bought a kit on Amazon from a company called Vancillary. We should have asked them how to say it. But we're going to use that kit, and that kit cost us about, I think it was $115, $120 for the kit. But what the kit includes is it includes a template. Here, let me just show you. It includes a paper template that you can basically cut out and place on your wood so that you don't have to do all the measurements. All the hardware you need, and the best part, in my opinion, because we could have done all that, is the brackets that we're not going to have to try to find a way to bend metal because we don't have a lot of tools. So they have the perfect bends to fit right onto the brackets that we need to hook these onto.
Yeah, I think these alone are, I mean,
they're worth it.
Are absolutely worth it. I mean, they're really good quality and they're nice looking. I don't have to spray paint any, you know, bracket from the hardware store.
It perfectly matches our interior, so it's great. Okay, so after you get your Vancillary kit, you can go online to their website. We will put a link to both the Amazon link and their website below in our description, but you can go on there and you can download the instructions for installing this, but we're going to show you.
We're going to make you a video because that's what we do.
So, they give you a list of the basic supplies you're going to need, so we'll just kind of quickly go over what you're going to need to do this project. Take it away, Jed.
Drill.
And so what is that? It's a, I think they said a...
This is a 7...
I'm looking at my notes, sorry.
This is a 7/32 bit on a drill.
Yeah, and they said you can also use a 1/4 inch bit to drill out those holes.
I like to go with smaller anytime they say, because you can't take away a big hole, but you can make a little hole bigger. True facts.
And then...
So we have our handy dandy jigsaw with a wood blade on it. Yep. The smaller the teeth, or the more teeth, the better. So you don't get those big jagged, raggedy cuts. And
then we have basically some basic stuff, some screwdrivers. So we have a straight head, a Phillips head. We have just a little collection of Torx bits, but what they say you're going to need is like a T25 or a T30 Torx bit. Wrench, 3/8 wrench. And some clear packaging tape, scissors to cut your template out. So we have material to finish our shelf with. So we decided that we're going to actually cover our shelf in fabric, and we could paint the wood, we could do lots of things, but we're going to actually kind of make it match the cab of the truck. So we're going to use material. We have our spray adhesive for the material. I'll show you how to do everything as we get there. And various markers. Just gotta have the markers. So I think that's it. That's all the supplies. Oh, the most probably important piece or supply, the wood. So we have 1/2 inch birch plywood that we have left over from our Baltic birch, marine grade. Yeah, we have that left over from building our floor. So they suggest a piece, you're gonna need a piece about 5 by 3, and we have that. So we're just gonna use the leftovers we have. Vancillary suggests the first thing that you do is install the brackets, so that's what we're going to do first. Alright, we're just going to pull up on the coat hook here. It's going to reveal your screw. And for this one, we're just going to take our flathead screwdriver, pop off our screw cover, and voila! Alright, so for the rear, we're going to use this long bracket here. Now this is the smaller of the two. So I'm going to use my T25 Torx bit. We're just gonna
unscrew it. It's not in there super tight. Okay, we're now going to slide it behind the plastic. And we're going to screw this back in, but we're going to keep it loose so we can move this bracket so then when we put the headliner shelf in, we can adjust it accordingly. Alright. We're going to take this one out as well. Alright, so we're going to pull back on this visor arm. Gently, of course. We're going to screw this in. Once again, we're not going to put it down super tight because we still are going to make a little bit of adjustment for the headliner after we cut our wood. Alright, now we're going to repeat on the other side.
Okay, so now that we have the brackets installed, we are going to cut the template out so that we can place it on our 5x3 piece of wood that we have here. They suggest that you actually cut along the straight edge right on the line so that you can line it up with the edges of the wood, and then kind of just roughly cut around the rest of the, what's this called?
Template?
Template. Woo! I think it needs some more caffeine. So roughly cut around the edge of the template. So the one thing you do want to be careful of here is make sure that there are lots of lines on this. So make sure that you are only cutting around the outside edge because you don't want to mess up your template. And then they also have a shelf flange template here that you can use as well if you want to put a little flange along the front of the shelf. So let's get to cutting. Template, and now we are just going to tape it down with some clear packing tape to our piece of plywood, and then we'll be ready to cut. So while you're doing this, you do want to make sure that you hold or have some help. I'm going to make Jed help me, but you want to make sure that you hold this piece of paper nice and flat as you're taping it down, so it's really flat against the plywood. Otherwise, you might be a little let off. So what we're going to do is we're going to just tape down the corners first, and that way we can kind of really stretch it out.
Okay, Sandy's got this all taped down. Now I'm going to be cutting actually through the template and the tape as well. Vancillary says it doesn't make a difference, but I don't know. Never cut through tape and paper before.
All right, it's cut.
So following that template made it a lot easier.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice.
Yeah. Just need to shave down some rough edges here a little bit.
Then we'll
test fit it.
Test fit.
Hey.
All right, so next we're going to do is we're going to test fit it and see how it fits.
Fingers crossed.
All right.
Yay. It's looking pretty good. So it does kind of wiggle in here a little bit. So whenever you're putting it in and before you mark for your screw holes, just make sure that you're flush with your front here. I think that's the most important thing. And it looks like we are right there. Alright, so we have the board exactly where we want. We've made sure it feels really flush here in the front. I'm just going to take a marker and mark where we're going to put our screw holes.
Alright, now we're going to take it out and we're going to drill our screw holes and we're going to upholster this bad boy. Little things like this make me actually think we can complete this project. Alright, so we used our 7/32 drill bit to drill out our holes that Sandy marked. She's just cleaning the holes up a little bit.
Okay, so now that we've test fitted, we got the holes drilled, we are actually going to upholster our headliner shelf. But there are other options. Of course, you could stain it if you're using kind of like that natural wood or the wood look. You could paint it. But we want it to kind of match the cab, so we're going to use this dark gray indoor-outdoor fabric that I found at Joann's. Yeah, I think it's going to look good. All right, so I've cut out 2 pieces of fabric, one to go on each side. The first one we're going to apply is going to kind of wrap around the sides. We'll show you a little bit about that here in a second. But we're going to use some Loctite spray adhesive to put it down, so let's get going.
Whew, get high off those fumes.
It is. Do not stand too close to the fumes.
Using a well-ventilated area, not a garage.
Okay, so we've got our fabric on the back side applied, and now we are going to just kind of wrap it around the edges. So we've taken that first piece of fabric I cut and kind of just put it around the edges on the back side. The side that's facing down right now is going to be the side that goes down into our cabin, and then this side that we're about to put on now is going to be up in the shelf because you won't see it as much. But then I took this other piece of fabric and I cut it exactly to the shape of the shelf, so it kind of fits over those edges like this. And then we're just going to glue this down as well, and then we'll have a nice seamless shelf to go up there. Going to let it dry for a bit and it's going to be ready to go in. Okay, so it's all wrapped up, and then the last thing I did before we're ready to install it is I just took a little tiny flathead screwdriver and I just poked through where the holes were, so we poked through the fabric, and I made sure that the screws go in pretty easily. They do get stuck on the fabric a little, which is to be expected, but I don't think we're going to have any problem getting them in there. Let's install this thing. Okay, so all we have left is to screw this in. We've got it sitting up here on our brackets. I've already kind of put the first one in there, you can see, but basically you want one washer with the screw that's going to go up through the bottom side, and then you're going to put another washer and a nut on the top side to secure it in place. We're just going to put them all in loosely at first, and then we'll tighten it all down.
Alright, so next step, I'm going to take a crescent, I'm going to put it on the bolt on top, and a handy dandy screwdriver, and tighten it in that way.
Yeah, we had trouble getting that socket in there because of the curvature of the headliner.
Yeah, if you have a small 11/32 wrench, then, I mean, you can do it that way. You're going to need a screwdriver for help anyway to keep the bolt still, so this is what we're going with. So the last step is we're going to tighten our brackets down with our Torx bits, and we'll be done. Alright, we put in our screw covers, and we put in our little hook. Just press back down.
Voila!
Voila!
Done! Alright, so we have a headliner shelf.
Yeah, I've already hit my head on it once, so just keep that in mind.
It's been in there for a few minutes, so...
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be a future thing, but it's worth it for the extra storage.
Yeah. So the Vancillary kit really made this simple for us to do. The project went really well. If the rest of this van build goes half as well, I think we can actually finish this thing. Yeah, knock on wood. But it looks really good. I like the fabric that is covering it. Blends really well with the cab.
So I think with making our own template, going out, finding some brackets, you know...
It was worth the extra money.
Yeah, adjusting, bending, measuring the contours and everything else. This was simple.
Yeah.
So I think it saved us a lot of time.
Much less expensive than getting like one of those prefabricated ones. So
yeah,
it's in the middle.
Yeah. So how much did this cost overall?
So I believe the kit was like $115, $120. I can't remember exactly. And then we had to buy some spray adhesive, which was about $10, and then some fabric to cover it. And the fabric cost us about $25. And it was a little more expensive fabric because we wanted something that was really durable and was going to last. So we went with a little bit more expensive upholstery fabric. Anyway, that wraps up this video. We are going to leave links to everything we used in the video description. So if you're looking for any...
Except for these bad boys. You can't just buy these.
No, you can't. Not on Amazon. If you want to buy him, I'd probably sell him.
Don't.
No.
Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. And until next time, stay wonderful.
Call it a day.